Welcome to AstroTalks with Los Angeles-based professional astrologer Astro Chris, your source for weekly astrology, spiritual talk, and moon magic. Your energetic support is much appreciated, and I thank you for your 5-star rating. You are a star. Gracias. Today's astrology segment will be focusing on Mercury Cazimi. Now, anytime a planet conjoins the sun, a new cycle begins. This is like Mercury being reprogrammed. In ancient astrology, they would regard this moment as Mercury Cazimi. This is when Mercury will sit in the throne of the sun and get new programming, new information, and start a new cycle in regard to our method of communication and our spirit purpose. To better understand this conjunction, we have to take a look into the perspective and the meaning of the sun. The sun, as the influencer of spirit and will, impacts themes connected to our divine purpose. The sun in our chart is a luminary. It brings divine inspiration. And as all the planets revolve around the sun and connect with the sun and attain information from the sun to work together to manifest and influence our daily activities and provide inspiration and direction to us, when they connect and they program by conjoining or forming a conjunction to the sun, that planet receives divine information. Now, to really interpret this aspect, we have to see where this conjunction happened. The sun in his home sign of Gemini. This is happening on May the 21st, 2022 at 12:17 p.m. PST and 3:17 p.m. EST. The conjunction happens exactly at 0 degrees and 43 minutes. Now, according to Nikola Sayanovich, master astrologer and creator of Secret Degrees, he says that the 0 degree always carries the potency of the zodiac sign, as it's the beginning degree. This is when the energy of that zodiac sign is the strongest, meaning Mercury is quite strong because he is joining the sun at 0 degrees. And when Mercury joins the sun, he gets a new reprogramming. As the sun is the king of our solar system and all the planets revolve around the sun, the moment that Mercury conjuncts the sun, or any planet in that case conjunct the sun, they get a new agenda from the king. And the chart that forms this conjunction tells us a lot about how Mercury will be expressing the new interpretation of what the sun is divinely asking him to work on. So in the sign of Gemini, he is more in control because that is Mercury's zodiac sign. Shortly after, he does enter and goes back into the sign of Taurus as he's still in retro. However, for those few hours that he remains in the energy of Gemini, we become inspired with the new sun's agenda. In ancient astrology, Mercury is also said to be protected from combustion when he is transiting his home sign of Gemini or Virgo. No matter how close he's to the sun, he does not feel the effects of the combustion. So this is also quite special because not all times when Mercury forms this special Cazimi alignment is he at his full functioning power. So because Mercury does rule the sign of Gemini, although he might be combust, but he actually is not combust at this time, because as soon as the sun enters the sign of Gemini, Mercury is already at 0 degrees. This brings more potency to this transit. Now, what can we expect, or what happens during Mercury Cazimi? There's a lot of things that happen. And what I've noticed, and also noticed with people that have Mercury Cazimi in their natal chart, is that they have extremely sharp minds. This is because the union of the planet of communication and the planet of divine spirit are connected together, and they're firing together, and they're working together. And this is aligning their thought process and also their soul purpose. So they tend to be very inspirational speakers. They tend to speak with a lot of clarity, make great coaches, and also express a lot of emotional intelligence. This is why they can be great coaches. So in general, when this aspect happens and how it affects people that don't have this aspect, like myself, I do not have Mercury Cazimi in my chart, is that we tap into that. So we are going to be receiving more clear vision during this time. You're also going to notice that you're going to be a little bit overstimulated because your mind is going to be shooting at 100. You're going to get all these ideas and epiphanies and inspirations. So this is actually a great time to pay attention to the synchronicities around you, to pay attention to the messages that you get, and also to be mindful of the power of speech. Because as we know, and a lot of us here practice mantras, affirmations, prayer, we are and we experience what we speak into existence. And this Mercury Cazimi is really the essence of speaking things into existence, because Mercury is the messenger. Mercury rules the mind and rules how the mind is interconnected with thoughts and how we communicate and speak with others, how we collaborate with others. That's why it rules speech and wanting to network and make friendships and foster friendships. So tying in that energy of Mercury and the power of speech, and the sun being the indicator of our soul's purpose, what you say today, what you do today, the vibe and the energy that you experience today is going to be extremely impactful. I do recommend that you create a mantra, or maybe spend some time creating a sigil that represents something that is meaningful to you. Give it a lot of thought. Sit down in meditation and see if you're inspired, because this Mercury Cazimi is going to be inspiring us all very individual, very different. And this is going to be based on the house that this Mercury Cazimi is impacting in your chart, and also the aspects that it makes to your chart. It can also play out by you being the person that provides a very important message to another. So don't limit yourself to just hearing synchronicities. You can also be the one that is delivering the message. You're also going to be able to speak very, very clearly, communicate very, very clearly. And this is where you can tap into your heart center and communicate from the heart. Really have that connection of the energetic flow through the chakras from the heart all the way through the throat. And I advise you to work on your solar plexus, your heart chakra, and your throat chakra connected, as the flow goes from the sun solar plexus right to the throat chakra, which is a chakra that's ruled by Mercury. So be mindful of the time that you spend to develop this communication. And this is also time that you can plan on delivering information more purposefully, because you have clear vision, clear mind, and can develop clarity of speech or clear speech. You can take advantage of this time to deliver anything that you want to say to someone, maybe coming more from the heart, or it could even be a sales pitch for business if you're in business. Anything, any type of communication that you can think of, especially that is aligned with your soul purpose and the way you deliver your messages to the people around you, because Mercury is how we deliver messages. He's a messenger that is in full alignment with his Cazimi. Now, sometimes, depending on the aspects, we might feel a tad bit of anxiety with this transit. And the reason being is because Mercury also rules the nervous system. In medical astrology, traditional astrology, Mercury was ruling the connectivity in the body, the nervous system. Now, more modern astrology is appointing this to Uranus and also a tad bit of Saturn in regard to that, Saturn, the energy of Saturn in Aquarius, to the connectivity of electricity in the body. However, I really do see that some people that tend to have more episodes of nervousness, anxiety, or, sometimes panic attacks, or tend to have that, their Mercury sometimes is compromised either natally, or if it's just something that's periodic or something that is newly experienced, it's usually triggered by transits or progressions, and I typically see Mercury being compromised. I do follow the rule of 3, so I need to see repeated aspects to really confirm that this is what's going on, and I check different things, but that's one of the things that I notice. So if you are feeling nervousness, one of the remedies to this Cazimi is breathwork. Breathwork is magic. Mercury rules the lungs. So making time to breathe and connect with the element of air is going to help you calm the mind. Even if you don't feel anxiety, I recommend this. I plan to take a lot of breath, just pause throughout my day and really enjoy in beautiful essence the energy and the element of air. So this is also welcoming the sun into the sign of Gemini, which is an air mutable sign. And we have Mercury there momentarily until, he transits back into the sign of Taurus, which is going to change his dynamic. But we can still foster and savor this moment. As for the transit of the sun into the sign of Gemini, this happens a few hours before that Cazimi, like I mentioned. We have the moon in Aquarius forming a separating trine, but a trine it is. We also have Mars at the last degrees of Pisces. It's actually at 27 degrees of Pisces. And we have Neptune going into 25 degrees of Pisces. So the Mars and Neptune conjunction is separating, and Neptune has moved from the degree it met with Jupiter. Jupiter is in Aries, forming a beautiful sextile with the Sun and Gemini and Mercury retrograde. Enjoy the recap of the astrology of the week, where I come for 15 to 22 minute segments to give you the major, most impactful aspects of the week and help you in learning astrology, aligning to astrology, and expanding your spiritual awareness to all the magic of the cosmos. This is Astro Chris from CodaQueenAstrology. If you're interested in my services or learning from me, check out my website. You can also catch me on IG, where I do weekly Ask the Astrologer segment. You can ask me questions there. I engage with the audience, and it's so much fun. I love engaging and talking to you guys and just spreading the awareness of astrology. I am a big astrology geek, nerd, whatever, and I just love it. So thank you again. Love and light. Have a beautiful Mercury Cazimi.